Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. So as you know, we're starting the Abundance Project today. It's really exciting. I mean, I started on Audible, then I started reading the book, then I reread the first couple chapters, and I just really like the work of this author. He takes us to a new place with abundance teachings. And so if this has been, prosperity has been one of those things, and how many of us would like a little raised prosperity consciousness? Anybody would like that? Yeah, why not, right? We can always evolve into something greater, and so this is an opportunity for that. And he begins this book with a search for the real source of abundance, which is what we're really talking about today, is the seeking and finding of that real source of abundance. So when this group of us went to, from Unity of Walnut Creek last week, went to Unity Village, there was 17 of us initially. I think we ended up with 15. And you know, you might think that because that's the headquarters that we had gone to the source of it all, right? Yet that obviously wasn't the ultimate source of it all, right? That there's something bigger there. So there's something else there. And then when we get there and we feel the grounds and the beauty of the grounds and the beauty of the buildings and the spaces, and we think, wow, well, this is sort of the source. No, that's not quite it yet. And then you think about the co-founders, Myrtle and Charles, and what they created and what was birthed through them. And you say, wow, well, oh, there we are. You know, maybe they're the source of unity, the source of it all, you know? But then there was something more, wasn't there? Because we could then start to feel into the energy. Now we're close to the source. Now we're getting back to that place. Now we're in that space. And you too, we can feel it here, right? We can feel it everywhere present. The source of unity, the source of all creation, the source of all things made manifest. By allowing ourselves to drop in and to connect with that source. So the author helps us by taking this idea of a riddle, essentially. You know, in the spirit of what came first, the chicken or the egg. He points us to the cover of the book, and he says, you know, you look at this abundant apple tree, and you look at the apples, and you think, wow, that's abundance, right? And he says, is that the source? Or what came first, the apple, the tree, the seed? And so we'd think, oh, well, that's the source, the seed, right? Because the seed became the tree, and then the tree produced the apples. That must be the source. Nope, not deep enough. He says, what is the source is the divine intelligence that held the pattern of the tree inside the seed. And then it produced the apples. You see? So the source of abundance is not the chicken or the egg or the fruit or the tree or even the seed. The source is the intelligent life that set forth the pattern that created the idea of you and all the things we see made manifest in the world. But we are so conditioned to look to the outer. We are so conditioned to think the thing is the abundance, right? The thing that we manifest. And if we have a bunch of these, then we have an abundance of lecterns, and that's a good thing, right? So we should have more of them. And so more is better, and more stuff is better, and that's how we've been oriented, right? And so it's, even as spiritual people, even of all of you in this room and behind the camera and outside that are on this journey, a very earnest journey of spirituality, we can forget and then we remember. We forget and then we remember. We forget and we think that all this is abundance. The money, the clothes, the car, the house, everything we're striving for, the retirement savings, whatever it is that we think we must have in order to be abundant. The whole time missing the point that you're abundant from the get-go because you're made of this. You are of it, and you are participating with it at all times. So the infinite source is the divine intelligence of it all. But most of us just don't look deep enough. That's really the crux of all of our prosperity problems. We just don't look deep enough. But if we do, in fact, take another look, go past the byproducts and the symbols of prosperity and ask, what made that? What is the origin point of that? Because I would like some of that. And so if I back it up to the origin point, I realize I have that. I am that. And so I therefore can create whatever I want. I know we teach it, we talk about it, you've read about it, you took workshops on it, right? We've all been down this journey. We know about prosperity, but it's about embodying it. It's about walking it. It's about knowing it. It's about remembering all the time, or remembering more often. Our goal is to remember all the time, right? That's the difference between us and the masters that have gone before us that we look to, like Jesus and Buddha and so on. They just never forgot. And we're just in this dance of, I forgot, and I think I don't have enough, and then, wow, I feel really good, I'm in the flow, everything's cooking with gas, and oh, I forgot, and I'm really tired, and I don't have enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have love, I don't have enough right? You know how we can tire ourselves out? And then we get with our friends, and then they say, yeah, it's really terrible, isn't it? There's not enough. And then we get an abundance of friends, and all of us are standing around going, oh, isn't it awful? It's so terrible. There's just not enough. And meanwhile, the source is over there going, come on, play with me. Come on, just step over, just a little step. And then there we are in the truth of who we are. There we are in the source of who we are. There we are, not just the seed, the idea of who we are, the pattern of who we are, the beautiful design that you are. Isn't it magnificent when you think about it? The diversity across our world, it's so amazing, the diversity of life. Nothing alike, no plant alike, no human being alike, nobody like you. That there is that beautiful source that just went and just came into an explosion of everything, of color, of form, of texture, of you. You have a divine, intelligent pattern inside of you. It's made of God, Goddess. It's made of this beautiful source energy. And then, yet, we still keep forgetting, right? We still come into this place of lack and this theory that we don't have enough, and then we look around to our neighbors and that person has more. I'd like more. I'd like to have more like them. And so now I don't have enough. And then the really dangerous part of the I don't have enough thinking is it quickly moves into I am not enough. And then when we don't feel worthy to either give or receive, sort of like game's off for abundance, right? Because if I'm not worthy, then, well, that's just going to keep blocking it every time. So we have to get ahead of that, right? We have to get ahead of it. And we have a lot going on in our world that will keep us in the lane of not enoughness. I'm not enough, and I don't have enough. The advertising industry makes all of its money on I'm not enough, and I don't have enough. And so we'll play into that, and it'll lure you with all the little pop-ups on your device that will say, you need these boots, you need this, it'll make you look really good, and then it's like, it just lures us into that, and it touches on that place that says, I don't have enough, something's missing, and I'm not worthy. So it's not that we can't have those things. It's not like, oh, material things bad, spiritual things good. It's just spiritual things are the source of all of it. So stop looking at that stuff and saying it's abundance. That's not abundance. Abundance is the idea, the design, the pattern, the truth, the thing that blossomed out into everything. And when we remember that, then we can create anything at all. It's sometimes hard to believe, isn't it? You might be sitting here thinking, well, I got some dreams, I got some ideas, I got some things I want to create, I've got some things I want to do with my life, I have some places I want to live and things I want to travel I want to do, whatever it is that is your heart's desire. You may be thinking, yeah, I would like to do those things, but how do I get from here, this place that says, yeah, I don't really think it's true that I can get there, to the place that says yes, to the place that says, of course, to the place that says, I am abundant, to the place that says, I am one with the source, so I can co-create anything. How do we make the leap? We have to work, right, on what we're holding in consciousness. You know, Jesus was the master teacher of abundance. It may seem that we thought he was just like some poor rabbi walking the streets with no shoes on, you know, or simple sandals on or something. But it doesn't matter what he was wearing, although some say he was wearing this beautiful seamless robe and, you know, anyway, whatever. What we're after here is the teachings, right? What we're after here is the essence. What we're after here is what was he embodying? What was he saying? What was he showing? He says in John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. He's laying out two types of consciousness. One is the thief. And the bad news is the thief is not the one who's going to like come to your door or break in. The thief is you, who's robbing yourself of your good by thinking you don't have enough or they aren't enough. I say we too, me too. You know, this isn't you. I'm not preaching at you. That we don't think we have enough. So it's that whatever fill in the blank. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough love. I don't have enough connection. I don't have enough, you know, whatever it is that is your refrain. Because most of us do have that refrain when we forget, whatever it may be. Or we bounce back and forth between these. But robbing ourselves then by thinking we don't have enough, and then robbing ourselves further thinking about our future. How many of you worry that you won't have enough in retirement? You'd be working till you're 90. Yeah, a lot. That's a real fear for a lot of us, right? And we rob ourselves of our future good by sitting around and worrying about not enoughness in our future when God, the source, the I am, the divine is standing around, woohoo, I'm over here. Just step in. Just drop in. Just remember who you are. It's right here. And then we go, oh, you know how it is when we drop in, right? When we all go into meditation together, it's like, oh, there I am. It's not very far away. And then we remember there. Then we stop having this spiritual amnesia. So then we become the Christ consciousness itself, that second type of consciousness that Jesus is speaking of in John 10:10 about abundant life, and I came so that you could have it and have it abundantly, is Christ consciousness or divine consciousness. And it's out of that Christ consciousness that we enjoy the abundance, that we give more life, because we're out of that place of there's plenty. We're like an eternal spring. When we're in that space, we're just in the flow and we're in the love and everything is feeling good, and we want to share it with everybody because there's so much good that's flowing through us. And it's that consciousness that Jesus is pointing us to. Get away from the thievery. Get away from robbing yourself of your good and your joy in this moment and in your future, and come in instead to the place where you are full of life. And you are giving of it abundantly because you have it to give, because there is eternal source that you are now standing in and on and allowing to flow through you. So it's that I am, that divine I am inside of you, that Christ consciousness or divine consciousness inside of you that's saying, I'm here. I came here. I'm here. And I'm here so that you may have life and have it abundantly. So the good is delivered. The good is delivered. It's at your doorstep. And I do not mean an Amazon package. I know those bring a lot of joy. But think about how much more joy you could have and how much more whatever you want to co-create and attract into your life you could have if you remembered where that source came from. If you remembered how that good was manifested, created, brought to your door. It's that good, it's that source that is standing there. It's indestructible. that good. It's priceless, the good we're talking about here. It's irreplaceable, the good we're talking about here. It's not a thing. It won't break. It won't go away. It won't go into a landfill. It won't be given away. It's something that you can hold on to and stand in and walk in and express through and allow and share with everybody, because you remember when you connect what God is, the source, you also remember the second principle of unity, I am it, right? I am the divine presence. I am a vehicle and a channel for this good to flow through. And then it gets unleashed through us and we can enjoy it because it is such a joy to give it, isn't it? Is it such a joy to give love? Isn't it such a joy to be able to connect, to give our good, to give a smile or a hug or a handshake or a compliment to somebody and watch them grow before our very eyes? It's good to give abundant life. It feels good, and it reminds us of who we are, and it reminds us of the source that we are touching as we create whatever it is that we are creating right there in that moment. So abundance is about who we are, and abundance is about what we have. And not have in the sense of stuff, but have in the sense of quality. Have in the sense of irreplaceable, permanent quality, access to spiritual quality, and all things manifested from there. When we come into contact with Source, what happens is we get a mirror of the truth of who we are. And we get fed, spiritually fed by that, and we get empowered by that to give it away, to share more of it. It flows out of us. It spills out of us. There's so much to share, right? That we even have to, at times, consciously say, whoa, okay, I can't share that much more right now in this moment because I got to go do whatever. But later I will share more of whatever it is that is flowing through us to be created, to be shared, to be expressed, to be given over. So all of this sounds good, right? But then do you ever feel like, I don't know, I'm not feeling the connection. Do you ever feel that? I don't know what happened. I was feeling all spiritual. I felt the presence, and then poof, it got really arid in here, Suddenly I'm just not, things are dried up. I'm not feeling it. And maybe you even get to the point where you feel like you lost it. Like, where did it go? Did I lose it completely? Did I ever have it? We start to really question ourselves in those moments when we have a crisis of faith or a crisis of feeling the presence. Or maybe you think, the divine intelligence of the universe, really, it does not have time for me and my little old problems. You ever think that? Like, I'm not going to pray and ask for anything because, well, God's too busy. Have you ever thought that? I mean, maybe as kids more, but I don't know. I think as adults we do that sometimes too. It's like, it's back to that worthiness thing. It's like, oh, little old me, I can't be connected to the divine intelligence of the universe. And then every so often we get a hit and we realize who we are. And so our journey is to get more of those and to remember when we do get them that that's the real thing. In Unity Metaphysics, we have two different realities we talk about. One is the relative reality, and one is absolute reality. As human beings, we tend to hang out in relative reality a lot and reinforce relative reality a lot, which is the idea that things go missing, that we don't have enough, that they're, and so on. But absolute reality is the thing. Absolute reality is the source. Absolute reality is the truth of what we're talking about, the real source and the grounding in that real source. So are you willing to remember again when you forget? That's all. We all have, there's like an epidemic of spiritual amnesia. This isn't, you're not alone in this. So when you forget, are you willing to remember again? That's all you need to do, is have a willing spirit to say, when I forget, I'm willing to remember again. How do you remember? How do you get back? Maybe it's a word of thanks. Maybe it's just a slight shift in consciousness. We know that prosperity can be anything. Right? Prosperity can be anything. We define it as, it could be money, it could be stuff, it could be things, it could be material goods, but it also can be love and harmony and peace and joy and all those things, right? And so there's a sense then of whatever it is that we want, whatever it is that we are seeking, to give ourselves to it is a prosperity principle, is an abundance principle. If we give ourselves to it, we'll get more of it. Do you remember the song by Kate Wolf? Give yourself to love if love is what you're after. I loved that song. I sang it all the time when I was single. I think I sang it for 6 years. And then finally Brenly appeared. Where is Brenly? There she is. Abundance. But Kate Wolf really got it, right? Give yourself to the thing you think you're missing. Give yourself to the thing that you want to manifest. If you want love, give love. It's pretty simple. It seems like so counterintuitive because we say, but I don't have any. How do I give it? I don't have any. Oh, but we always do. See, that's the thing. Even if it's just like a little drop of love, a little idea of love, we got something to give. Give what you have to give. Remember the story of the widow's oil? I'm not going to get into detail, but the widow didn't have a lot, didn't have anything, felt like she didn't have anything. And Elijah comes along and says, what do you have? She's like, I have nothing. The house is barren. I have nothing. I can't feed my sons. What do you have? What do you have? He kept asking. Finally, she had a little oil. And of course, he helped her manifest more and more and more and more and more of the oil. So start with a drop of love. Start with a drop of connection. Derek Rydell, the author, talks about one of his clients, Mona. She was a shut-in as an adult. She was really isolated at this point because she had childhood illness that kept her in that kind of state of mind. And so now here she was alone in her home, and she was really wanting some connection, as we social human beings do. And so she got introduced to the Abundance Project. And she started working the principle, this idea of, if I want connection, I want love, I have to give it. I have to generate some of it myself so that I can be an attraction point for more of it, right? We've heard of the law of attraction. That's what she was doing. And so she looked around and she thought, what can I love? And she decided to befriend the plants around her house, inside and out. And then she'd go out in the evening and she'd commune with the stars. And then on the occasion that somebody would come to her home, she would commit herself to being the best companion she could possibly be to that person. She wouldn't come from a needy place of, oh, I've got a friend that they're going to give to me. She came from a giving place of, I'm going to be the best companion I can be. And then she realized that she needed to love herself some more. So she started working on some self-love, which turned into some forgiveness work, which turned into forgiving all the people in her history. And pretty soon, she met someone and fell in love and lived happily ever after. No, I don't know about that part. I assume she's living happily ever after. But whether you are already in a relationship or you are wanting to manifest a relationship, Mona had a key piece to the health of it, right? It's work from the inside out. It's not a what can you do for me, but how can I give more of that which I would like to receive? And then we get in that flow. It's not, when you're in a relationship and we say mistakenly that that person is my other half, H-A-L-F, what we really mean is that other person is my other halve, H-A-V-E, right? We're both halves, we're both wholes, and that's how we, W-H-O-L-E-S, by the way. And that's how we come, right, together. Is it out of that abundant sense of connection to the source? That's how we co-create more and have a more joy-filled relationship. There's this exercise in the book I'd like to take you through, a brief meditation. I renamed it Turning on Your Innate Love Machine. Would you like to play with us? All right. So I invite you, if you'd like, to close your eyes. Take a moment to tune into your heart. And recall a time when you felt loving or loved. See the object of affection and feel the love. Take a breath, and as you exhale, let that feeling of love expand and fill your chest. And then fill your whole body. Really feel it. Give it a color. And then take another breath, and as you exhale, see and feel this color expanding to fill your whole body. Now radiate that love into your life and see it saturating everyone and everything around you. See people's reaction as they feel your love enveloping them. See how it blesses them, heals them, inspires them. Feel how good that feels. Experience the expansion as you radiate it out, seeking nothing but to give and generate love. And when you're ready, come back into the space. Did you feel some love? Where did it come from? Nothing changed in your physical world. Nobody gave you anything. You didn't get a gift, I don't think. You didn't win the lottery. You generated that love that you just felt. You are the source of your love. And when you don't feel it, where did it go? Is it gone? No. All you got to do is drop back in and generate the feeling of love. We make this so complicated, don't we? We make it so hard, and it's so simple. We came wired with this, wired with love. We can never lack love. It's not possible. We're made of it. We're generators of it. You're like a little generator. You know, when you hear those generators, you know, that's you buzzing around the world. So all you got to do is plug in, right? Plug into the source. 24/7, it's available to you. We went to the Peace Chapel at Unity Village, and it's open 24/7. There's 6 chairs. They were hand carved by one man out of walnut trees that used to be on the property. They still sit there after 100 and some years. And on one wall is "Peace, be still," the wall you face when you're meditating. And if you want to go to the back of the room, there's an old style phone on the wall. Remember those phones that just hang on the wall with a cord? You don't even have to dial a number. All you have to do is pick up the phone, and somebody says, "Silent Unity, how may we pray with you?" And right there is everything we need. Pick up the line, sit down, peace, be still. That's all we ever have to do. It's the answer to everything, to every abundant problem you think you might have had, to every prosperity issue, to every life issue you think you're dealing with. Pick up the line, sit down, peace, be still, and know that I am. That's it. We're in a process, right, of knowing, and you can remember this as ACE, really simple, right? To remember that the real source is available 24/7. that you are connected to the source 24/7, and that you are the embodiment of that source 24/7. Available, connected, embodied. Source available, connected, and embodied 24/7. If you lose sight of that truth, pick up the line, sit down, peace be still, and know that I am. This is how we shift, right? This is how we shift and plug back into source. And, you know, this is the story of the two things really that we can do is shift and share. Shift and share. We've talked about sharing love. Shift and share. The story that, again, Jesus shows us in the feeding of, now some verses say 5,000, but it was 5,000 men plus all the women and children, so I'm thinking it was more like 12,000. And, you know, it goes like this story, this is the version in Matthew. As evening approached, the disciples came to Jesus and said, this is a remote place, and it's getting late. And I think we need to send the crowds away to the villages so they can go buy some food. And Jesus says, you don't need to send anyone away. You give them some food. Disciples are like, all we've got is 2 fishes and 5 loaves. And Jesus says, bring them here. And then he starts to break them apart. But what is he really doing? He's doing 2 things. First, he shifts before he does that. He takes the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and he shifts his attention to heaven. And he gives thanks. So what he does is he moves to his source. He opens his perspective he shifts into source. He acknowledges that there's a presence there. He gives thanks for it. I mean, he does this all very quickly, right? And he starts breaking the food into small pieces. And he gives it to the disciples, and the disciples give it to the people. And 5 or 12 or, I don't know, 20,000 are fed. And they're all satisfied. And there's 12 baskets of food left over. But it's so simple. What he's showing us is it's 2 steps. That's all to your abundance. Shift to your source and share. Shift and share. That's all we do. Shift and share. And then it comes and then it flows. And we are generating and we are giving and we are expressing and we are receiving because we are in that abundant flow, because we remembered and acknowledged our source, and then we got busy being the generator of the good. If you want more to come into your life, Derek Rydell says, you must let more life come out of you. That's it, right? Are you withholding somewhere in your life? Are you playing small? Are you being quiet when you have something to say? Do you have some truth that wants to come out? Do you have something you want to create? Do you have a dream that you keep holding back and saying, there's not enough yet. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. There's not enough me. There's not enough energy. There's not enough help. Stop that recording, scratch that record, and play the truth, play the truth over and over again. If you give yourself to that thing that you are seeking, if you give yourself to that thing you think you are lacking, you will get it and more of it, and you will generate more to share, and it'll spill over, pressed down, shaken together, spilling over in your lap. That is the good, the abundant truth that we are made of and that we've come here to give abundant life, to enjoy that life and to give more of it. That's why we're here. And we have perfect access to it. Pick up the line, stop, be still, and know that I am. Shift and share. It's super simple. I know I'm like driving this home. It's probably getting really old, but it's because I realized that I need it, and so I'm guessing maybe you need it too, because as much as we forget, we need to hear the truth over and over again and be reminded that it's simple, that there are simple steps to take, and they always lead us back to source. That's always the truth. It leads us back to source. Source and source, right? Source everywhere present and within. And that's all we have to do is remember and do these simple things. And then everything comes to us and through us and as us. And then life is joyful and loving and connected and creative. And we're alive. And we get up in the morning, we don't go, oh, another day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, my to-do list is so big, or, oh, I'm so lonely, or I don't feel good, or I'm getting old, or whatever that stuff it is that we keep telling ourselves that is just making us miserable. Instead, we just go and we get up and we say, I'm in it. I'm in this game. How am I going to be used today? How am I going to generate more life? How am I going to come and be the abundant life I have come here to be? God, I am so grateful for being here. And you look around and you say, oh my God, there's my dog, is so cute. And then you say, look at this home and look at the food I have. I have breakfast and I have somebody to love somewhere, even if they're not in your home, right? There's someone to love. Go down to the grocery store and be loving toward the, I mean appropriately loving. Be kind and friendly and connecting, lift somebody's day, stop for somebody. There's just so much in this world. There's so much in this world that is just broken and hungry and thirsty and just wilting on the vine. And we're all sitting here full of abundant good, knowing who our source is, knowing that we come from divine intelligence, knowing that we can be a vehicle of so much good. Don't sit on it. Don't make it small. Don't contract yourself anymore. Get out there in the world. This is how we can stop the wars. We can stop the conflicts. We can stop the division. I hope it is abundantly clear by now what this project is about. I hope it's abundantly clear what we're signing up for here. And I really, really want to encourage and invite you to get out there, go over to that table and sign up for a study group. Because if you're in a group and you continue to study this at a deeper level and read the material and hear it on Sunday, then as a whole community, we become a force for good in the world that we can't always do alone. And you get companionship for this journey to keep mirroring and reflecting to you who you are and what you have to give to the world. It's far more powerful, so I hope we can all engage in it together. Let's look at what this project is about as we close out in Derek's words. The Abundance Project is not a get-rich-quick program. I think you got that. It's not a get-anything program because you can't get what you already have. It is, though, a time-tested, proven system to unlock your natural abundance capacity and unleash your divine inheritance. Yeah? Are we in? Let's say this together then. I am unlocking my natural abundance creating capacity and unleashing my divine inheritance. So you are, and so it is.